Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. I got a few things I want to show you here today, and this falls right in line with a subject that's really close to my heart, and I cover quite a bit here on the channel, and I have been for years. And that's the idea of UFO disclosure, or the disclosure of ancient alien ancestors. So we've been conditioned for years now for a full-on disclosure, or for an actual visitation. So as I said, there's a narrative that's been taking place for a long time. Over the last few years, we're finding a lot more stories like this. They recently found some amazing artifacts in a cave down in Mexico, so look at this article a little bit, and I want to show you some of what they found. Recently, researchers of ancient artifacts and relics found scenes in a Mexican cave depicting aliens as well as spaceships. The search for these mysterious caves began with legends in which it was said that in ancient times, alien beings arrived on a spaceship, and ancient people captured this on stone-based reliefs that were made in a system of 3 caves located somewhere between the cities of Veracruz and Puebla in Mexico. In the course of their research in one of the caves, the group that went on a quest found stones with images of an alien spaceship and aliens engraved on their surface. The researchers note that these stones themselves are of great interest because their structure is very similar to jade, and these bas reliefs prove that the civilization of the Mayan Indians were in contact with representatives which seemed to be from other planets many years ago. So those of you who follow my channel know that I've covered this subject in detail throughout the years. There's definitely a psychological operation at play on the public at large, and this is all around the world when it comes to these aliens, specifically these little gray aliens. In all of my years of research, I've come to the conclusion that these are actually fallen angels, and this narrative has been consistently put in place through shows like Ancient Aliens and really all forms of media. I firmly believe this is going to be a part of an end-time deception, a mass delusion. So we will continue getting stories like this leaked out. Again, this has been happening over the last few years. We're seeing more and more of this come out, and that's setting the stage, setting the narrative. Really interesting story here in Egypt. They found ancient coins with images of aliens. In Egypt, they were doing renovations on some of the older buildings, and they discovered hidden ancient coins which depict aliens and also alien spaceships. The inscription on the coin reads, quote, "Here in time." And here's another one of the coins that were found that seemed to depict a spaceship, right, coming down to the planet. So as with many of these stories, sometimes they're hard to verify. But as for me, when I'm looking at these types of stories, my perspective is that it almost doesn't matter if some of these can be verified or not, because the stories keep coming out. That shows that there is a narrative at play here. Whether this history is real or not, the narrative is that it is real, and that these things have been with us for a very long time. And certainly there's a reason for this. They're preparing us. So when it comes to the study of these ancient relics and artifacts, here's a story right here that has been verified, and it's been around for several years. 350 mysterious artifacts were found in Ecuador, and there was a pyramid that depicts Orion's constellation. Now that's on the bottom of the pyramid, but most importantly is what you see right before you there. This is the ultimate end-all, be-all symbol of what many call the Illuminati, but really, going deeper than that, this is a symbol of the beast system. The beast system that we all exist in, all around the world. It always makes me think back to Area 51 and what happened out there many years ago. And that may be the closest we've ever seen as a public to an actual story coming out, associating the fallen ones, or what they call the aliens, with our government. Many people believe it was around this time that the aliens actually started to give our government technology. But our government is literally working with these aliens. I've shown you this before. It's very interesting. I wasn't the first one to find this. It's been around for a few years. But even if you look at the Apple logo, this is the image that you'll get whenever you'll put 2 of them side by side. And what does that look like? Of course, that's what they call a gray alien, which I believe are the fallen ones. So just one example through symbolism of how this may actually be working. Businesses, corporations all around our world may be actually using alien technology that was leaked a long time ago by these fallen ones. Another example of the predictive programming of all of this, alien disclosure in full contact, comes from the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. which of course was a film that was about that day. It was about the day we actually meet the aliens. And of course in the film they're all depicted as really cute and kind of small and very friendly. But isn't it interesting that out of all the places they could have had this disclosure take place, this first meeting with the aliens or the fallen ones, they choose a place that's literally called the Devil's Tower. So there's a lot of different reasons why I believe this, that the aliens, at least the gray aliens that are portrayed to us through all forms of media, are actually the fallen ones. And the aliens of our time match the demons and fallen angels mentioned in the Bible in terms of their behavior. And like the Bible predicts, aliens never affirm the deity of Christ, nor do they claim to come in his name. And as countless people have described through their encounters with these beings, that they never affirm the deity of Christ, nor do they claim to come in his name. In fact, the very opposite happens, and you can look this up for yourself. There's many stories about this. But the exact opposite happens. Many people find that whenever they use Jesus' name, when they're visited by these things, that these things go away. Aliens also seem to change their stories to delude man into believing their lies. An example of this is that before man had been to outer space, or so we've been told, or sent satellites there, aliens would claim to be from planets such as Jupiter in our solar system. But as time went on and man learned more about our planets, we realized that no one could actually live on a planet like Jupiter. So eventually the aliens changed their story, or the narrative is changed. Now it's claimed that these aliens are from other solar systems and star clusters such as Andromeda and the Pleiades. Though aliens are said to be advanced, it seems that they need us for their survival just as fallen angels needed human beings to prey on. There are various accounts of aliens taking tissue samples from humans, probing them, or even impregnating women. And this is the origin, if you think about it, of the entities known as incubus and succubus. These aliens bring ideas to the earth that will help man unite worldwide for a new era of consciousness. How many times have we seen that narrative playing out? This uniting prepares the way for their leader, most likely an Antichrist, or the Antichrist, by making mankind forget their religion and their loyalty to their countries, thus unifying the entire world into one. It's also very interesting the intense connection between these gray alien visitations and also the New Age movement itself. So-called aliens often contact New Agers and occultists as opposed to Christians. This is not always the case since people from all walks of life have been contacted by these entities. However, I believe that these space brothers are not too interested in contacting Christians, and this is because Christians will be able to see through an alien's disguise, if you will, and know them for what they actually are, which are demons or fallen angels. And as I said, there's the narrative that aliens give man technology, and oftentimes these advancements are usually destructive. There are secret projects that many governments have in their budget which are usually for creating new weapons of war. And much of the technology, it's believed, for such weaponry is said to have come from these extraterrestrials. Which makes you wonder, why don't the aliens ever give us life-saving technology? And as I mentioned, get ready for more and more stories like this. This is from March of this year, March 31st, 2017. World is about to be told aliens exist and are here on Earth. And then here's another story from March 30th, 2017 this year. Aliens created God, and now they want him back. Shock claim of how religion began. I see this narrative on ancient aliens and of course all kinds of movies and TV shows always out there. So stay aware out there, be ready and aware of more of this indoctrination, this predictive programming, this social engineering. This is going to be a massive devilish delusion. And once there is some kind of a contact made and these things actually arrive on the world stage, many people will lose their faith. Many people that have no faith will easily gravitate towards this because of all the conditioning. These are really crazy times we're in, man, and it seems like they just keep getting crazier. So keep your eyes open, spiritually discern all the information that's coming out. And thanks again for checking out the video, you guys. I'll talk to you a little later. Take care.